Zimbabwe's leader, President Emmerson Mnangagwa, has said African countries must work together and create a market for their products through value addition. He said the continent must maximize the benefits of its natural resources for its people. President Mnangagwa made these remarks while officially opening the 9th ordinary meeting of the African Diamond Producers Association, the ADPA Council of Ministers meeting in Victoria Falls earlier today. The three-day conference, which started on Tuesday and ended today, was attended by ADPA members and observers.
The development of African economies should be accelerated to the extent that the peoples of Africa enjoy the value-added products from our own natural resources. I exhort us to change our mindsets as Africa and take pride in the consumption of value-added products from our gold, our diamonds, lithium, cobalt, cocoa, natural oils, and leather products, among many others. We must be consumers of our products and not merely producers.
Legislators in Parliament's Primary and Secondary Education Portfolio Committee are calling for increased financing of the education sector in order to implement the recently launched early learning policy. The early learning policy contains guidelines on the implementation of an infant school module, among other things. More on the following report.
Legislators have welcomed the recently launched early learning policy as necessary in ensuring Zimbabwe's education stays at par with global standards. But without adequate financing in the sector, lawmakers are of the opinion that the policy is redundant.
Also advocate for the drafting, in fact, the finalization of the draft school finance policy. And with this policy, we do understand that everything in relation to the issues of learning of peoples in our school will be covered, will be done. And as such, when we do our oversight role, we will be looking at such issues contained in that framework, in that policy, to see that education is well funded.
Zimbabwe is a signatory to the 2022 Tashkent Declaration, which stipulates that governments must ensure 10% of their education budget goes toward early childhood learning.
Zimbabwe and Zambia have kicked off the 18th session of the two countries' Joint Permanent Commission on Cooperation with both SADC member states, pledging to build on the already existing cordial bilateral relations. Cooperation between the two countries in various sectors continues on an upward trajectory. The two countries have signed memoranda of understanding in a number of areas. 27 MOUs are still outstanding and will be discussed during this year's session.
Agreement on the establishment of the Victoria Falls Livingstone one-stop border post, memorandum of understanding concerning cooperation on the management and preservation of Zimbabwe Liberation War grave sites, memorandum of understanding on culture, and memorandum of understanding on gender equity and equality and women economic empowerment.
Zimbabwe Olympic Committee (ZOC) has described the ongoing African Games in Accra as an eye-opening experience which is crucial for all sport stakeholders. The African Games carry Olympic qualification times for some sport codes, and ZOC believes that the exposure will prove to be key for the athletes. So far, Zimbabwe has picked 2 gold medals in the women's cricket and swimming, as well as bronze and silver medals to set a positive tone in an Olympic year.
A
competition is stiffer. We're not competing at a national level, we're not competing at a regional level, but definitely at a continental level. So being an Olympic here, it helps us as we prepare for the Olympics, prepare to qualify, and even for those that have qualified to actually gauge themselves against their African counterparts. So the competition has really come at an opportune time before the Olympics. So by sending their best teams to the African Games, it also is because that we have a number of Olympic qualifiers and some sport codes that are here. So definitely people want to qualify for the Olympics. And
Konapo, Ipapo pa ZTN Prime, DSTV channel 294, the place to be.